Hey, B1, hey, we doing it, you know what I mean? I'm coming out there for Christmas. We're gonna do it. Y'all got to make sure y'all keep your behavior straight so we can have a nice good time and get the TV. But sorry, I'll home a TV if they're good. And, huh?
Who's getting a TV?
The juvenile detention center that I go visit. They're good kids, man.
How many times do you figure you faced Aaron Rodgers?
I don't 1, 2, 3, 5 or 6, something like that.
Most games that he plays in don't look like that. He wasn't able to make many of the big plays we've seen. What did you guys do so effectively in that regard?
We just played our game. We just played disciplined football. Our D-line, they hunted. In the secondary, we just tried to play tight coverage. We played a lot of man-to-man. Tyler called a lot of man-to-man today. He felt like that was the plan, to be able to stop the run and stop Aaron Jones. And so you had to step up in the secondary. Akello Witherspoon played a heck of a game. Jimmie Ward played really fast. Jaquaski Tart played really fast. Obviously, the linebackers, Fred, Aziz, and Greenlaw all played a good game because you have to when you play man coverage in those situations. They still got some plays that we're going to have to correct and be better on. But whenever you play a Hall of Famer like that, you never know when he can go for 400 at any given time, and he can turn that game over at any given time. So you just play as hard as you can, as fast as you can, for as long as you can, and you let the chips fall.
Did you ever get an explanation on your unnecessary roughness call?
Yeah, the explanations weren't in line with the rule book. So I'll leave that to the league to deal with. They have their own correction system and point system for when referees do a great job or when they make mistakes. So I'll leave that to them because, I've been playing this game for a long time. I understand the rule book. I understand how it should be called. But the refs felt like those were the calls to make, so they called them.
Richard, there's been so much talk about you guys that play the Packers and the Ravens and the Saints. Did you think in all that discussion it was being overlooked that, these teams have to play you guys who are 9-1, 10-1?
Yeah, but what's new? Apparently, nobody has to play us. We just got to play everybody. We're just the punching bag that people come punch on, But we don't worry about the outside noise as we talked about before these rooms were filled, and there was only 6 or 7 of us, and the locals and a few people. But at the end of the day, we understood what kind of team we have, and we don't worry about the opponent because you can't control what they do. You can control your execution, you can control your effort, your attitude, and your approach, and most of the time that'll be good enough. If you do your job effectively, you fight hard, you trust your teammate, you play disciplined football, especially on the defensive side, then that'll be enough to give you a chance to win. Now, sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes, these are great players out there. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. Aaron Jones is a great back. Devontae Adams is one of the best receivers in this football league. So they're going to make their plays. But if you give yourself the best chance, you have to play disciplined, sound football. And 11 people did that for 4 quarters for us, and that's what you appreciate. You hope that our D-line gets the all-pro recognition that they deserve because they do. You can give it to Defoe, you can give it to Arik, you can give it to both. Obviously, Bosa, anytime you got a Bosa, you're probably going to have 2 Bosas on the all-pro team. But you got to give those guys their just due. And when you have the discussion and you say, well, they have to go play this guy, they have to go play this team, then it becomes weird because these guys have been consistent throughout, regardless of who they played, regardless of what tackles, guards, centers, O-lines that they've played, they've been consistent week in and week out. So then you start to lose that discussion, and you need to give these guys more credit, and I don't think they're getting enough. Sorry.
Had a couple of.
Nope. He's my guy, so.
How important is it for a team to have a quarterback like Jimmie who can bring the offense together and deliver a message that everyone responds to?
It's incredibly important. He's the leader of the team. Quarterback is the leader of this team. Jimmy Garoppolo is our leader, and we will follow him into the darkest of dark. We'll follow him into a dark alley, and I guarantee you won't touch him. Because you got guys that he goes to battle and to fight for us every day, and we have an obligation to go to battle and to fight for him. And you hear some of the noise and things said about him, and it's frustrating because we see him every day. We see what kind of work ethic he puts in, the hours that he puts in preparing, the first one in, the last one out. The guy looks for no credit. All he does is encourage his teammates and put more work in. And then you have people nitpicking. We run for 300 yards. They're like, well, he didn't throw a lot. We ran for 300 yards. Then he throws for 400, and they're like, well, I think he got outplayed by Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray barely had 100 yards passing. And you start to laugh at these things, but you're like, oh, the goalposts keep moving with him. And the one thing you can appreciate, and I said this before, is you can appreciate being good enough that people got to make excuses for why you're good. He's a good enough quarterback that people have to make excuses. They have to move the bar. They have to, oh my God, he didn't throw for 400 this day. Now his passer rating is 145 on prime time against one of the best teams in football, and I'm sure they'll move the goalpost again. Then they'll say, well, we didn't run it good enough. Like, he's not a scrambler, so his yards per run, man, he needs to pick that up. He took a couple sacks. It's like, wow. I mean, what else can the guy do? He's helping his football team win football games, and he deserves a ton more credit for that.
Jimmie Ward had a couple of huge deflections on third down in the first half. What have you thought of his play this season?
He's making himself a ton of money. Jimmie Ward is he's one of the most underrated guys on our team. And I think for a long time, people he's been kind of the stepchild, here, because he's been forced to play so many positions and play out of position a lot of times, and he made no excuse. He's made no excuse. He's played as hard as he can. He's fought as long as he can. And for a guy that puts his body on the line and has done everything he could for this organization, he deserves a ton more credit as well from just the fans. You don't like how the fans talk about it. Outside world, they know, but this guy has put the time in. He's put the effort in. He's battled back from injury. They're like, oh my God, he's always hurt. A guy that's always hurt with some of the injuries that he has is because he's playing that hard. He's putting his body out on the line. He's trying to get wins for you guys to be happy. And I don't think there's enough appreciation there. So I'm just happy that he's playing as well as he is on a contract year. He bet on himself, and I hope everybody sees it and he makes a ton of money, because this defense wouldn't work without him. K'Wan Williams playing how he's playing. He makes a lot of this go. Eman Mosley. Obviously, Akello came in and played a great game. You don't hold Aaron Rodgers to those kind of numbers without your back end playing the way they did. And obviously the front deserves a ton of credit, but those guys are playing great football.
You can make a case for Arik Armstead being in that boat as well.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, he's playing all-pro football. He's playing all-pro, legitimate all-pro football week in and week out, whether it's primetime games or games nobody's watching. He's out there making incredible impact. He's putting guards into the quarterback's lap, tackles into the quarterback's lap, tight ends, whoever. Everybody can get it. He's the can man. Anybody can get it. Whoever lines up in front of Arik Armstead is going to have a long day. And I think they said he's at 10 sacks now on a contract year. I mean, the Brinks truck is going to back up, beep, beep. I can't wait. I'm excited for him, but hopefully he gets the credit he deserves.
I'm sorry, he's the can man?
The can man. Somebody else said it before, but, because everybody can get it. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when nobody else is here.
You left the game for a minute. What was the injury you had?
Well, I fell on my butt and my glute had shut down on me, so I couldn't lift my leg for a second, and E-Man had to, then I got it going again, and, sometimes when you fall on this gluteus maximus, it don't respond as well as it used to.
Aaron threw at you early, but then he kind of left you alone.
I think there's a mutual respect there. I have a ton of respect for his gold jacket, and I hope that I can play well enough to get one of my own.
How big was that forced fumble to start the game?
Oh, that was huge. That forced fumble set the tone in the game, and I think it set the tone for how our D-line was going to play the whole game. Thank you, guys.